4 groups to determine the final 4 players to contest the first prize of £30,000. And O'Sullivan is first in with that red after a rather loose break-off from Ronnie. 44 years of age. In the eyes of many, the greatest player of all time, but that wasn't so great. Going into the pack and going in off the edge of the cluster of reds. Just the one title on O'Sullivan's CV this season. That was the Invitational Shanghai Masters. Kishan Hirani is 28 years of age, turned pro a couple of years ago, doing so via success at Q School. Still finding his way as a professional. Currently ranked at 93 in the world.
Kishan Hirani won.
His best ranking performance is the last 32 showing at the German Masters. O'Sullivan's CV, of course, is rather more formidable. A record equaling 36 ranking titles. He needs just one more to eclipse Stephen Hendry. Of course, this isn't a ranking event. But I think you'd have got pretty long odds on O'Sullivan not having won a ranking tournament at the start of this season. 2 seasons ago, he won 5 in a single season, which at the time was a record which only 3 other players, Selby, Ding and Hendry, had achieved. But of course this season, Judd Trump has surpassed them all with 6 ranking titles in a single season, including victory over O'Sullivan in the final in Belfast, Northern Ireland, before Christmas. That's a poor safety from O'Sullivan. Full ball kiss on the red. Might have left something a little more easy for Hirani, having got that safety wrong. Nothing straightforward there for the Welshman, certainly. It's amazing how sometimes you can profit from your own mistake. O'Sullivan played a poor safety, but didn't leave anything easy. Look at how Hirani was hampered there in attempting that red. He's missed it, and he's left O'Sullivan with a chance.
One. Eight. Nine.
The other players in this group, by the way, Group 10, Chris Wakelin and Michael Giorgio, the former shootout champion. They'll be in action next up here on table 1.
12.
Over on table 2 today, by the way, you can follow Rob Milkins, Mike Dunn, Tom Ford and Ian Burns. That's Group 15. The action, as always, on the Eurosport player on the opposite table.
19. 20. 25. 26.
'Yes, it's been quite a while since O'Sullivan has been in competitive action. Of course,
31.
because he's been relatively quiet this season, he didn't qualify for
32.
the Players' Championship, the second leg of the Coral series of events for the top 16 players on the one-year list. He didn't have enough ranking points to play in that, and of course he won it last season. And in turn, because of that, of course, he's not in the upcoming Tour Championship, which takes place just before the rescheduled World Championship at the
39.
Crucible. That's for the top 8 players this season. Tournaments that in the
40.
past he's, of course, excelled at. Last season he won both the Players and the Tour Championship. And it doesn't matter how good you are, and O'Sullivan is as good as it
47.
gets. You do need match practice to be able to produce your very
48.
best. The standard is so high these days that if you do have an off day, you're in danger from anyone inside the top 100. That's the strength of the modern game. So I'm sure O'Sullivan will have decided that he wanted to play in this
53.
tournament with one eye on the Crucible at the end of July, where he would be
54.
bidding for a 6th world title. 7 years after his 5th. That's quite a gap for a player of his calibre. But he's going well here. 54 the lead, so
59.
just this red to make the frame safe, barring snookers.
60.
And of course it all started with that poor safety, leaving Kishan Hirani a very awkward red.
67.
Hirani bridging over in order to try and pot it into the green pocket. He missed, left O'Sullivan in, and this is the result.
$68.
He may be in his 45th year,
73.
but there's no real sign that O'Sullivan's extraordinary skills have dimmed.
74.
Last season he won 5 more big titles, including a record-breaking 7th UK. He has a record 7 Masters as well, 19 Triple Crown titles in all, which
79.
is more than anyone else, 1 more than Stephen Hendry,
80.
and of course in excess of 1,000 centuries. And he reached that magical mark in the final of the Players' Championship, in the very last frame of the Players' Championship against Neil Robertson last season. And this is pretty good for
85.
his first real opportunity to get his hand on the table. Went in
87.
off right at the start of the frame, but he's made the most of this second chance. Hirani can count himself a bit unlucky to be left such an awkward red,
90.
but he's certainly been punished for missing it.
$94. 99.
Well, what a start this is. We've had 18 centuries already. And there goes number 19.
105.
He's back and he's as good as ever. A statement of intent from O'Sullivan.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
A brilliant
112
century
and
clearance to start the match. That wasn't too shabby, was it? And Ronnie, if he didn't know already, knows now. He's in for a tough afternoon.